Hey, hello out there, Ed from New Haven, Connecticut. Hope everybody is doing well. Been a while since I put out a video, almost a month, I think, but I've been busy. Work stuff, non-work stuff, seeing friends, doing some traveling, having some guests over on the weekends, but you don't care about that. You're here to look at some records. So these are LPs that I picked up over the past month or so. Vinyl finds action, once again sticking to my mantra of $10 or less. So let's get right to it. I picked these up either in my local record shop or at the Record Riot pop-up that came here a few weeks ago, or I was in New York City a while back and picked some stuff up in the West Village. So we're off. First up, let's start with Mr. Wes Montgomery here. This is a 2 LP set, a reissue that came out in 1973 of a couple of his LPs from the 60s. This reissue set is called While We're Young. Here is the back right here. You know, Wes Montgomery, famed jazz guitarist with the crack rhythm section throughout this double LP set. The LPs that are here are, it is the incredible jazz guitar of Wes Montgomery from 1960 and So Much Guitar, Wes Montgomery from 1961. Some originals on here. We cover some Duke Ellington, Mercer and Arlen's, one for My Baby, and also some Sonny Rollins as well. So excellent stuff here. Wes Montgomery with a twofer. Got this for $5 While We're Young. Great jazz guitarist right here. Also sort of in that samba vein, jazz vein, I've got a little Astrud Gilberto from 1966. Third LP, this is called Look to the Rainbow. You know, Astrud Gilberto, you know what you're going to be getting. Samba, light bossa nova music, Portuguese, English singing, fantastic stuff. A little bit like, warm tropical breezes, moonlight, etc. Fantastic, really wonderful. Astrud Gilberto, perfect Sunday morning listen to, even a late night listen to as well. And that is Look to the Rainbow, 1966. Coming up on some late 60s soul, this is Peggy Scott and JoJo Benson with Soul Shake from 1969. A great duo, a very underrated duo. Had a couple of minor hits here in the States and in Canada as well, out of Nashville. This basically plays just like a greatest hits of like old Northern Soul stomp dance records. Absolutely great. Every song is 3 minutes or less. The big hits were Lover's Holiday and Pickin' Wild Mountain Berries. Excellent stuff, made a few records. If you can get these on the cheap, I did. It's really great, excellent quality. Like I said, great, party record, Northern Soul music. Soul Shake, 1969 from Peggy Scott and JoJo Benson. Moving up into the 70s with some blues, this is Bobby Blue Bland with his California album, right? Nice textured sleeve from 1973. On the Dunhill label, produced by Steve Barry, the in-house producer for Dunhill at the time. You listen to this stuff from Bobby Blue Bland, you know what you're going to get. He does a great cover of If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right, Luther Ingham's track. Covers some Leon Russell's, Help Me Make It Through the Day. Also covers I've Got to Use My Imagination. Excellent stuff. And when it was over, I just felt like a nice shot of whiskey, and I felt like a cigarette after it's all done. So great bluesy stuff from Bobby Blue Bland with his California LP from 1973. This I was really excited to get from 1974. This is Gil Scott-Heron and Brian Jackson, right? Midnight Band, The First Minute of a New Day. So I have a lot of Gil Scott-Heron and Brian Jackson on a bunch of CD compilations, but to get their stuff on vinyl can be tough to find, and when you find it, it's pretty pricey. But I was able to talk to the guy at the Record Riot vendor bin, and I was able to get him down to $10 for this. So the only track that I knew on this was Ain't No Such Thing as Superman, but the rest of it was all new to me. And look, I love this stuff by Gil Scott-Heron and Brian Jackson. It's great, super tight, funky rhythm section, lyrics with a message and a social conscience and some protests. So excellent stuff. The First Minute of a New Day, Gil Scott-Heron and Brian Jackson. So always on the lookout for more of their stuff, and I can get it for a deal. I'm going to snag it. Let's move up to something totally different from 1977. This is the debut in the States for Split Enz, and this is Mental Notes on Chrysalis. So now Split Enz, I'm familiar with the 80s pop stuff. I have The Best Of, I have True Colors, but I'm diving deeper into their catalog and picking up stuff that is unfamiliar to me. So I guess the story behind this LP is that this was their second LP here in the States, but it was their first LP rather, but it was their second LP back home in Australia, New Zealand. I think inside here was the original cover, right? This is in the gatefold here. And once again, this is the Phil Judd years with Tim Finn. No Neil Finn to be found on this. It pretty much was Finn and Judd's band at the time. And this is pretty dense stuff. It sounds nothing like the split ends that I'm used to hearing, right? It's almost like it's not proggy, but it's dense, it's arty. It's not something you put on to clean the house to. You kind of have to sit and listen to it. So it's very theatrical, a little pompous, and it almost sounds like like creepy circus music. So played it a couple times. Will I listen to it again? Probably not. But I got it on the cheap, and it's great to hear where this band started and to where they ended up. So Split Ends with Mental Notes from 1977. All right, let's move into some early 80s college radio years. This is Kid Creole and the Coconuts with Doppelganger from 1980, 1983, right? Kid Creole, I love. If you're not familiar with Kid Creole and the Coconuts, August Darnell, it's his band right here. And basically, their music style is all over the place. And this record has a million styles on it. Everything from jazz, big beat 40s music, Cab Calloway kind of stuff to Zydeco and Latin and salsa and new wave pop. I mean, it's all over the place, but it all works. And I guess this LP was sort of a part of a trilogy where it was a story of the band where they were abandoned on a desert island, then rescued from the desert island, and all the songs tell that story. It doesn't matter to me. It's just a fun listen to this record from start to finish. So excellent stuff. A great party record. Now this is something you put on when I want to clean the house because it definitely keeps me moving. So Kid Creole and the Coconuts with Doppelganger from 1983. All right, college rock radio years. We've got the debut from the Del Fuegos from 1984, produced by Mitchell Froom. So very much a style at the time, that type of music on college radio. A little garagey, a little jangle pop, very heavy percussive, very heavy on the drums. Really catchy stuff, short songs here. I think the Del Fuegos are still performing maybe, I think, in some iteration. But this is the debut. Wasn't familiar with it. Excellent to have on the cheap. Really good. In that same vein, I picked up the debut of the Long Riders, Native Sons. This is a Frontier release on the Frontier label from 1984. Once again, country rock, garage rock kind of stuff. Critical Darlings, college radio back in the mid 80s. Gene Clark is actually on here on a song with them. He sings a track called Ivory Tower and duets with them on it. So that song sounds very, very Byrds-like. Excellent band. I'm not sure if they're still together making music today, but this is the debut, Long Riders with Native Sons. So really, really good. This I was really excited to get. This is Big Dipper. That's the band, and the album is called Heavens from 1987. This is a Homestead release on the Homestead label. And I have to tell you, I was really psyched to get this because this LP took me back. I played this to death when I was a DJ at a college radio station here in Connecticut. She's Fetching, All Going Out Together, Wet Weekend, Mr. Woods. Love, love, love this record. Guitar, college rock, kind of gritty, kind of rough. Really, really good stuff. I think they just made 3 proper LPs and then called it a day. And actually, I was able to get the insert that came with it, photo of the band right there, with some production and little bio stuff on the back. So excellent there with Big Dipper with Heavens from 1987. Really good. Last up, 4 LPs left to go, all compilations. Here's something I'd never seen before. This is something called Bandits at 10 O'Clock on 101 Records. So apparently 101 was a club in England, it looks like. These are bands featured at the 101 Club, St. John's Hill in Clapham. So look at that collection right there of artists who are on here. Comsat Angels, Wang Chung, the original spelling, Thompson Twins, Holly and the Italians. Who else? Wasted Youth, the VIPs. So this is kind of a wild thing to look at. Apparently, you could enter a contest and name the slogan or the logo that you wanted for 101 Records. Pick their catchphrase. So you had to name who these bands were. They're all on the LP, and cut this out and send this in and pick the slogan. And if you won the contest, you receive some cool prizes, such as a Walkabout cassette player. Very cool. You receive 6 cassettes of your choice and a lifetime membership to the 101 Club. So that's what we're looking at right here. So I haven't heard this yet, but I know I'm going to love it. I just thought it was really cool, and I got it for like $5. So fantastic. If anybody knows anything about this label or this band or this club, I'd love to know some more about this. This is really kind of neat. Next up, No Home Should Be Without Ann Peebles right here. This is a compilation that came out in the UK in 1985. This one's called I'm Gonna Tear Your Playhouse Down, one of her biggest hits. So Demon Records released this in 85. They got rights to the high catalog. And if you don't have any Ann Peebles, shame on you. You should be getting some of her stuff. This covers all the big hits. I Can't Stand the Rain, Playhouse, of course, and all the various hits in between. So excellent stuff. Willie Mitchell production, all recorded down there in Memphis, of course, right? Memphis, Tennessee. Excellent stuff. No Home Should Be Without some Man Peebles. Last two records, this compilation here. I was very happy to get this for $3, by the way. This is Folkways, A Vision Shared from 1988. So I had this on CD back in the day, long gone. So this is a compilation LP of a bunch of artists doing a whole bunch of recordings of Woody Guthrie and Lead Belly songs. Here's the back right here. You know, all the usual suspects around this, right? But this introduced me to their music full stop with a lot of these artists. You've got Sweet Honey in the Rock doing Sylvie. You've got John Mellencamp doing Do Re Mi. Dylan, of course. Springsteen is on here. Willie Nelson, Emmylou Harris, Taj Mahal. All the usual suspects that do this types of tribute, right? So it's a beautiful record. A very, very nice gatefold. Nice write-up in there. So this is Folkways, A Vision Shared from 1989, 88, 89. A tribute to both of those great artists. And lastly, the last compilation that I got is Ocean Child, which is the songs of Yoko Ono, which came out in 2021. So this was spearheaded by Ben Gillard, if I'm saying his name correctly. He's from Death Cab for Cutie. He's a big fan. And look, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm a big fan of Yoko Ono. So I have all her 70s releases that came out. When Lennon put out records, she put out a record with the same musicians. I have pretty much all her 80s LPs, which are long out of print. I'm a fan. And look, no matter what side of whatever side you're on, so to speak, you need to show the woman some respect, right? So no matter what side of the camp you fall in there. She's 92 this year, by the way. Anyway, they cover a lot of great Yoko Ono tracks on here, a lot of great artists. You've got Sharon Van Etten, you've got David Byrne, you've got the Flaming Lips, Japanese Breakfast, Death Cab for Cutie, of course, Stephen Merritt. So once again, I'm a fan. It's challenging stuff, it's interesting stuff, and it's beautiful stuff. So I'm in the pro Yoko camp. And so hopefully you might give some of her music a shot one of these days, because it's worth a listen. All right, that's all I had to show. One take, no edits this go around. So for all of you out there, I've got some new subscribers, so thank you very much. I always appreciate the likes and the comments, having a really good time talking with everybody as usual. I'm looking forward to meeting some folks in person in July in a couple of months in Buffalo. I'm excited for that. And as always, like I say out there when I end these videos, with everything going on out there, there's a lot going on out there. Let's all take a moment just to be kind to one another, right? That's all that matters these days. Just take a moment, be kind to one another. All right, until the next video, folks. Thanks again.